Hey, what's up, everybody? BDL 44 coming at you with another video. All right, good morning. I am tired, exhausted. I don't know what the heck is up on my body clock, but I was up at 3 a.m. and was listening to the latest playlist I made. Enjoyed it. Great moment. Got a chance to do some thinking. Nothing special there, to be honest with you. I want to talk a little Lakers because obviously we just picked up Patrick Beverley. And everybody is very, very excited about that. He's going to be wearing number 21 for the LA Lakers. So that's what's up there. See that guys are training. Got a chance to see a couple pictures that the Lakers had posted. Showed that Austin Reeves is you can see that he's put on weight. Lower body strength is what I noticed most in the photo. So I'm excited about the new look that he's going to bring to the table, and the fact that he's going to be starting. His conditioning is going to have a lot to do with how effective he's going to be and how long he'll be able to hold on to that spot, because obviously the Lakers are going to be expecting some fluctuations with the roster, and we have a lot of guards who are going to be wanting to prove themselves this year. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes for him. Obviously, with the roster spot available now, there are a lot of options the Lakers have. Cole Swider is somebody we're looking at to really help us with shooting, since we haven't made that trade as of yet to improve our shooting very much. Obviously, bringing in Patrick Beverley, we expect to help with three-point shooting, no doubt. But I don't look at him as someone who's going to be taking care of that for us. We will have to get more shooting in multiple areas to want to be effective as a team. So I'm just really excited. What I think about Pat Beverley and what he's going to bring to the table. I just understand that we're going to have a lot more defense in mind coming up this season. And we don't want to be disappointing ourselves on that side of the ball. When you invest this much in your defense, you want to make sure that it equates to you having what you need. And hopefully the Los Angeles Lakers are still in the mix to make a move. Now, I know for a fact that you guys are probably sick of me talking about the different things going on in regards to Brooklyn and how I still feel like that situation is alive. But I'm telling you, it is. It's alive. It's not over with yet. The Lakers would have made a trade with either the Indiana Pacers or someone else to move Russell Westbrook if they thought that Kyrie Irving and the Brooklyn Nets situation was not a possibility anymore. Yesterday, I made a video, and I was going to try to make it a Laker video, but no, that wasn't the way it ended up going. I actually made it a therapy session because I took more so from what Kyrie posted and kind of started talking about my own thing. But the point that I want to bring to you guys is, of course, is that Kyrie posted something yesterday that had the colors purple and gold attached to it. And at the bottom of it, it said where I want to be and other things as well that I really took from. But the most important part was it said where I want to be spiritually. And then the fact that it was purple and gold. I think that that's something we need to read into as fans as it pertains to just holding off. If a guy's sitting there telling us in more or less 100 different ways that he still wants us to at least think that we're in the mix if stuff like that is being posted. I have no reason to believe otherwise. I think that Kyrie Irving believes he can win a championship with the Los Angeles Lakers. I believe that. Maybe not right away, maybe not as currently constructed, but LeBron James and him have proven to have won already, and Anthony Davis is an entirely different dynamic that they how do I say, I'm sure they would have loved to have him in Cleveland back then. I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'm not going to say that they were dreaming of having him in Cleveland or that was the missing piece in Cleveland or something like that. I don't know nothing like that to be the opinion that I have, but what I'm saying is, if you add Anthony Davis to that Cleveland team and you imagine what they could do, you know what I mean? Can you imagine? It becomes a situation where it's like, I know they can imagine it and I know they know it works. The situation with KD and Brooklyn, I just don't know if that works. When you add Ben Simmons to the mix, I think they have to make more moves to become a championship caliber contender than we do with Kyrie Irving. I think Kyrie Irving's fit here is structured a bit better the way the roster is constructed right now for them to not rely upon Kyrie so much. I don't put it like this. I don't think we will rely upon Kyrie Irving as much as Brooklyn's going to need to in order to win it. He's going to have to be consistent. He's going to have to be out there, and he's going to have to play a lot of defense. Ben Simmons is going to be your defensive stopper. And like I said, I'm a big Ben Simmons guy going forward. I think he's going to be exactly what people remember him being, but better. However, I just don't want to put so much pressure on him to be who he's going to be in the first season back from everything that he's gone through. And I just think that that is what it really comes down to. If for some reason he needs to miss time, you're expecting to be a two-man team with KD and Kyrie. And that, to me, just is not something I want to hang my hat on when I'm starting to think about the defensive side of the ball. I just know better. Ben is going to be too important, and it's too soon, is all I've been saying. And I don't know if everybody agrees with me, but, you know, that's kind of a obvious thing, I'd imagine, if I were in the locker room. If I were next to Ben 10, I'm encouraging him to keep going, right? And I expect him to play 82 games this year if I'm his boy. But if I'm the organization, or if I'm looking at this from a leadership standpoint, I also want to be prepared for if he misses some significant time. I want to be prepared for if he misses even a little bit of time, because he's going to be that important to the defense. I need to know that I have the supplemented defensive players in place to do all that it is that he's going to be expected to do. And then there's the Steve Nash factor, you guys. And this is something that nobody is talking about. I understand that Steve Nash is a very, very intelligent man. So with a conversation, if not having already had that conversation, I'm sure he and KD can come to an understanding that will allow them to be professional together. So while I do have it in my mind, sort of like the Patrick Beverley, Russell Westbrook thing, I look at it the same way. Yeah, is there history? Did some things happen this summer that would make it so that they probably have to sit down and talk? Did some things happen this summer that would make it so that Steve Nash probably feel like, you know what, I don't really care about how this looks. This just didn't feel right. You don't put my job on the line trying to get things done. But you know what I mean? Like, if I'm assuming Steve Nash would understand all that KD was trying to accomplish. Put my job on the line to do it, like you, especially with the circumstances. There would have to be a conversation for me. I'm not trying to throw no more fire on it, but I would want a conversation to be had if I didn't have understanding already. So I think that can be reached, though. That's basically what I'm saying to you. That's not me saying that's a no-go. I'm saying that I think that can happen. I think they can move forward together. However, that isn't the problem when I'm thinking about Steve Nash. That's not the problem. The problem is not whether or not he and KD can go forward together. The problem is whether or not he's the right guy for the job. With these circumstances in place, I think definitely not. But even if these circumstances weren't in place, I still don't think he's the guy for the job. Do you see what I'm saying? This has nothing to do with whether or not I think he can get along with people or whether or not I think people can go forward with one another. It has to do with whether or not I think when it comes down to it, can he win a championship this season? I don't believe in him as a coach yet. Now, that don't mean I don't believe in his ability to work his progressions to become a coach, because I certainly do. It's just like anybody else. You know what I mean? It's just like anybody else at anything. You got to go ahead and work your progressions to get good before I'm going to believe in you. You have to prove yourself to be worthy of winning now stuff before I can believe in you. Now, granted, you may call me a hypocrite because I have a whole lot of faith in Darvin Ham. I have a whole lot of faith in Darvin Ham because he's done the assistant coaching, path. He's walked that. So I have a lot more faith in him with the circumstances. Now, he'll still have to prove himself, and I'll still react to whatever it is I see, just like I'm reacting to what I saw from Steve Nash his previous year. No, that's not good enough. That's kind of why I think KD was willing to put his, use that as leverage in a way. If he really believed in that coach, he wouldn't have put his name in that situation. He wouldn't have put his name in that situation. It would not be necessary. You can get that done by just using Sean Mark's name alone. You don't have to rope the coach in, but he chose to. But I think he chose to because structurally it's something I think he thinks the team should do, minus any emotions or critical opinions. It just looks like it should be done. If you have a win now team, you have to get rid of a coach that didn't show enough, I guess is the best way I know how to describe my thought. Now, it's not imperative that you fire the coach, but under these circumstances, it seems like it would be the right thing to do. But you also have to understand that you'd have to hire someone. You also have to understand what it takes to fix the issue. It's going to require them to do a lot more work, and they're already probably strained from everything they had to go through for the last 2 months. So the last thing they want to do is now go through the process of having to start looking for a coach. And so all of that speaks to guys having to swallow their pride, have those conversations, come back to the drawing board, and then proceed to try to work with what I think is not enough to do what it is going to require them to work together. And that's just hard when you have all that they've had in place. So while they're trying to do it, and I encourage people who've had these things against them to believe that you can do it if you have this much against you, right? I don't want to deter them from believing in the possibility of going uphill together. But you just got to understand, is it worth it when you know that you don't necessarily have enough? Is it worth it if you're a player in that circumstance? Most important. Because for the front office, it may be, right? But if you're a leader in that circumstance, if you're Kyrie Irving or KD in that circumstance, is it worth it? And if you're them, in my mind, maybe if I'm 25, like Ben, when I got time to do this. But now when I'm in my 30s, like Kai and KD, it's probably not. No. Now, KD, as you guys know, I think he had to come back because circumstances make it look like either he's going to hold out insubordinate because they can't get a trade done, and that's illogical. Do you understand what I'm saying? You don't do that. You don't put yourself in a position to take on that type of backlash. That's unnecessary. If something can't be done, why are you going against it? Why would there be any resistance? If it's immovable, right? Kick a mountain all day. You're not gonna win that battle. So that's why it appears to me that he went back with Brooklyn, not because things were resolved, but because it just makes no sense to swing at to kick a mountain. So he positioned himself accordingly to do what it is that he has to do, so he can go back and not be insubordinate and not have low value and not have no favor with the people he's going to be around every day. Now, I know for a fact that he could very easily have changed his mind and certainly went back just the same. It's not like what I'm saying is the end all be all. But yeah, sometimes when you look at what it appears to be, you just have to leave room for what possibilities are all there. And what possibility I also see along with them going back and wanting to play is the possibility of them wanting to trade those players and get themselves in the right timeline for themselves as a franchise. Because ultimately, unless you truly believe you have enough, and in my mind, the only way I would actually believe that is if I had a team full of players that were all either 6'8" or taller, with multiple talent levels on both defensive and offensive side of the ball. That is literally the only situation that I would otherwise not want to adjust out of. I'm serious. Anybody else in the NBA needs to be trying to get to that point, or if they have smaller players that they believe in, they need to surround them with defensive players like that so they can sub them in when it's time for those defensive assignments to take place, which is going to be often a lot of the time. As long as you have your Cade Cunninghams and Dyson Daniels and these starting point guards that are going to be taller than 6'8", it's going to be very difficult for you projecting forward as a young team or a team that's trying to maneuver players with big contracts, right? It's hard, man. You're gonna need to find a way to match up with that size that's coming. So, yeah, Brooklyn needs to do that. I think the Lakers, and that's why I say Kyrie Irving's in a better position with the Lakers, because we have that stuff. We got that. We got defensive players in every position at this point, except for the wings, because we gave them all away. But the point is that you got the guys in the you got the point guards, defensive players, your Christies, your Pippins, your Beverleys. All three of them dudes they're gonna lock you up. All three of them. Austin Reeves, these guys lock you up. They take pride on the defensive side of the ball, all four of them. So that right there is encouraging to me, because I know you slip in Kyrie Irving or you're stuck with Russell Westbrook, them not being able to play defense as well, it ain't gonna matter as much. You look over there in Brooklyn, where are their defensive guards? Where are they? Where? Patty Mills? Yeah, I'm playing no D. Is it Thomas? I'm not aware. I ain't gonna put nothing on Thomas. I don't know, but I know his offensive side is the side that we celebrate on this channel. I don't know his defense. Who else? Somebody tell me who their guards are that's gonna help Kyrie play defense. Is it Ben Simmons? He's 7 feet. He's gonna be guarding bigs. He's gonna be guarding bigs. He has to guard Giannis. He's got to guard Ayton. He's got to guard Joel, along with the help, of course, of the big that they have, Claxton, who's also going to be tasked with guarding bigs. KD's going to be on the perimeter chasing people around. Kyrie's going to have to play defense for the Brooklyn Nets. A lot of it. That ain't his game. You want him to score. You want him dancing. You want him slicing people up on the offensive end. You don't want him trying to draw. You don't want people drawing fouls against him on the other side of the ball. So that's my thing. It's like, okay, we got the pieces to make Kyrie fit better. We got the continuity piece, the Ben Simmons piece here. His name is LeBron James. Right? We also have the KD piece. His name is LeBron James and Anthony Davis. So it's a lot of things that the Lakers have, in my opinion, that structure this thing to look just a little better, if not a hell of a lot better to me, for Kyrie Irving particularly, than that situation over there, man. They don't supplement any of his weaknesses, and he's gonna have to sit in the chair every single night, play defense for that team, in order for them to be successful. And to me, that's just not the best way to build. I mean, are you signing up for that if you're Brooklyn? I mean, if are you really signing up to put him in that position, put yourself in that position as a team? I just don't know. No, I know better. The best way for the Brooklyn Nets to win, in my opinion, Ben Simmons the ball in his hands, getting the ball to everybody, and them scoring around him. That way he's best utilized. He's not asked to shoot. He's not asked to be in the corner ever. He's not asked to be in any positions that otherwise make him test what otherwise was a struggle, shooting the ball early on, until he can prove that that's like not an issue at all. And that doesn't make you the best team you can be, because now you're taking the ball out of Kyrie's hands. Now you're taking the ball out of KD's hands in theory, although that's not necessarily the case. Because with KD, he's going to catch it and shoot it just like Clay. He doesn't even need to dribble. So that's not necessarily the case. But Kai's going to need the ball some, man. And it's going to be a situation where Ben Simmons is just going to have to roam while that's taking place. I don't know, man. The fit ain't great, man. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It was really good with James Harden on the offensive side of the ball. But with Ben Simmons, I don't love what they're asking Ben to be. And so that's just what it is, man. That's just what it is. So I look at that situation, I think if guys are paying attention like I am, they're going to make a move that's going to ultimately make it so that they have a different dynamic that allows them to defend a little better. But I mean, it's at that point, it's like you can't get better, Brooklyn. That's what we also understand. So Lakers just got to stand pat as we know we should with these two picks, and just wait for them to solve that impossible issue that they have there, trying to figure out whether or not they believe they're good enough. You know what I mean? If they listen to the media tell them they're the NBA champions, but they know they're going to trot out there a team that's not going to be good enough. And when that happens, are they ready for the consequences of that? Because that same media is going to bash them to hell, call for all of their jobs. It's just inevitable. That is absolutely going to happen if they don't come out to a great deal of success. And granted, even if you get off to a great start, now you got to sustain it. And as I tell you, unless they get some depth, it's just going to be those players straining, trying to keep up. And hey, maybe they get a good year out of T.J. Warren. Maybe they get a good year out of Patty Mills. But what does that really look like? You expect him to go back to bubble T.J. Warren? You expect Patty Mills to step back into the old Patty Mills from 2 years ago when he was really scoring the ball? So, again, this is rehashed a million times because there's not a whole lot to talk about in the NBA. But I think the most important thing for Laker fans to know is that each and every day, I have it in my mind that, yes, making a deal with the Pacers can make us better. But holding on to those pieces will probably give us an opportunity to win a championship if there is one for us. If there is one for us. Getting a complete team is wonderful, I'm telling you. You have a center like Miles Turner. You got a guy like Buddy Hield. You can shoot all day. LeBron James is going to the rack. Boom, boom, boom. Everything's nice. Anthony Davis has so much weak side help blocking. I love what that looks like. Don't get it twisted. Here's what I would need to feel good about that team winning a championship. Kyrie Irving. They're still missing Kyrie Irving. You're still missing that guy who can take the shot at the final moment of the game when LeBron James is looking to make the pass to do so. You're still missing a player. Buddy Hield may make that shot, but you look crazy not getting that shot to Anthony Davis. The shooting numbers of Anthony Davis probably makes it so that you don't want to put him in that position necessarily at that point in time in the game. Kyrie Irving is a certified killer and closer. You're still going to need that. That's what I'm telling you. But here's the thing. If you make the deal to get Kyrie Irving right now, I'm not certain you're going to necessarily need what Miles Turner and Buddy Hield bring to the table. I love the fact that we have Miles Turner as an extra shot blocker and rim protector and shooting presence. But don't we already have that in a bunch of bigs already? Thomas Bryant, SGA. I'm not SGA. Am I saying his name correctly? Juan Toscano Anderson, excuse me. And several other guys as well. Obviously Jones. I'm going to keep saying Huff until they call him up because I believe he's really a starting center in this league at this point, or at least going to project forward as one once you give him an opportunity. I don't need Miles Turner necessarily to come in, take minutes away from all those guys. I don't need that. That's not imperative to me. And Buddy Hield, I like Buddy, but again, are we getting rid of Kendrick Nunn? Do you have no plans for bringing up Pippen this season? You're going to plan on sitting Christie all season long? It becomes a question of what's up with Austin Reeves' minutes at that point. Where do you fit Walker into the situation? You bring in Buddy Hield, you're now bringing in a certified shooting guard that's going to demand more than 30 minutes a game. Where's the minutes for the rest of those guys? Are you better for that? I don't know. Yeah, you love the shooting, certainly, just for the fit of LeBron James. Yes, the shooting helps for sure. But, you know what I mean? It's like you're average. I'm going to be honest with you, Lakers. You make that Pacer move and you only bring back Buddy and Turner, you're average. But average is above what standards of average in the past used to be, because this is a hell of a Western Conference, and I expect that it's going to take almost 50 games to make the playoffs. I believe that. So when I say average, I mean you're probably going to win 40, 42 games, which I don't have a problem with. It's just I know that once we get to the playoffs, it's going to be a couple teams that I just favor to beat us, and that's going to be it. At some point in time, I expect to be outclassed. Just period. With Kyrie Irving on the team, that window of me thinking there are teams that can outclass us shrinks a lot. If I think there's 9 teams that can outclass us after we do the Pacer deal, I think it's only about 7 teams or 6 teams that can outclass us if we do the Kyrie deal. Worth it to me, you know what I mean? Because I have tempered expectations. I don't expect to come out here dominating. We don't have that kind of roster this year. But I do know if you add a dynamic piece like Kyrie Irving to LeBron James and Anthony Davis with what it is that we already have in place, which I think can help supplement the defensive assignments and things of that nature that we may need to do that with. I don't see any reason why we can't take it as far as those stars can take us. And at that point, I look at the stars that we have and I say, it's going to be hard to stop them dudes. For guys who may be bigger, stronger, faster, you're not going to be more talented than all 3 of those guys in most nights. I don't know if there's a more talented trio from a basketball standpoint than LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, and Anthony Davis. If you put that together, I don't know that you have a better trio. With the Brooklyn Nets, I'm not sure I say that. I'm sure the media says that, but then I look at Ben. It's Ben in the back, and the unproven nature of where he's at in his career at this point. 2 years from now, if he's made 2 All-Star teams and has had some playoff performances that remind me of who Ben Simmons is, then I'm going to hike him all the way up to probably a top 15, top 20 player again, because that's what I think he is when he's healthy. That's what I think he was before we started pointing out all the shooting issues and all that other stuff. Top 20 guy. So I don't see why he can't become that over the next three years, but we have to get him back to that. And just one season out the gate, no, man, that's not real. That's not how the world works. That's not how it works in real life. You could do that in a video game, but that's not, no. He's gonna need some time to get really, really, really comfortable, and then his health is gonna have to catch up. So yeah, no, just trust me. If everything, it's just like the Lakers last year, you guys. It's just like us last year. You're leaning too much on Ben Simmons. Last year we were leaning too much on Anthony Davis. Everything was standing on Anthony Davis's health. It was evident from the beginning of the season that if for some reason he was removed from the lineup, we probably wouldn't win 30, 35 games, 40 games. That's what happened. This year, their situation, he's their Anthony Davis. Ben Simmons is Brooklyn's Anthony Davis. And their situation is standing on his health. And does that make any sense? No. And for the Lakers, of course, bringing in Kyrie Irving effectively makes it so that we're not relying upon so much on Anthony Davis. It actually solves that issue for us. Yeah. That's what Kyrie's acquisition will do. So, yeah, man, I just think it's still on the table. I think the situation is still very much live. That's all I'm talking about because that's all I'm hearing about. Obviously, it's still August. So when you're dealing with August, you don't get any news at all pretty much. But we're really happy that we got the Patrick Beverley news. Can't even speak right now. Really excited about Pat Bev joining the team. And I just understand that when you bring him to the team, you understand he's going to bring intensity and culture and will not take no for an answer attitude, which is what the Los Angeles Lakers are in need of. We're not looking to just make the playoffs. We're not. I don't look at our situation as a team. You know, we got LeBron James. You're not looking to just win games. This is not a regular season team. So we must still hold out for what's best for us at the end of the day. Nothing short of that is us doing our best. And I know that means a lot to Jeannie Buss because it was mentioned recently that her number one goal is to make sure that LeBron James is happy. Well, I tell you, I think LeBron James will be very happy if we're very patient in building this team, even if it takes into the season to fully put it together. As long as we are who we need to be, when we need to be that. And I'm not sure when that is, to be honest with you. I would leave that up to the king to let me know. But as long as we are who we need to be, when we need to be that, I think he feels confident enough to get us together, make us our best selves. I really believe that. So if that's February, if that's December, if that's training camp, as long as we have our guys in place by then, I think we'll be okay. But we got to just understand that the field is going to try to force us into building improperly. You know what I mean? And they're going to use the clock and leverage against us as they have all summer. So nothing changes. Let's stay the course. We know what we want to build. We know what our options are. Teams on the sideline, you know what I mean? The teams that we're trying to do the deals with is no pressure on Indiana to get a deal done at all. So they can wait as long as we want to wait. That's the moral of the story. Indiana has no aspirations to win basketball games this season. So it's not imperative that we hurry up and get them Russell Westbrook, obviously. You understand what I'm saying? They can wait until the summer. They can wait until the trade deadline, to be exact, to make a deal like that for Russell Westbrook. So we can wait all the way until the final hour at the trade deadline for the Kyrie Irving pieces to be relinquished to the Pacers. And that's exactly what I think the Lakers should consider, depending on what it is that they actually see on their drawing board. That's what I see. Wait that out, man. Wait it out. Wait it out. And mind you this, don't you offer 2 picks for Kyrie Irving at the trade deadline. No, that's the price right now of him at a full season, not a half a season. So the Brooklyn Nets, of course, I'm sure understand that. Nah, we're not going to. The Brooklyn Nets know we want Kyrie Irving very much. We also know that they don't want him to walk very much. As long as both sides keep that in mind, it should be all right. My name is BDL44. I thank you all for watching.